Mr. TC Stills. Check out this intro, and we will be right back.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat.
Oh, good morning, Yankees universe. Like I said, welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, July 11th. I'm your guy, Hector, always joined by my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. TC, how are you feeling?
Good. Just woke up, had a nice 3 mile walk and with the
Nice.
wife, and
Nice.
get the blood flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to talk some Yankee baseball. How you doing?
I'm feeling good, bro. I see you hanging out someplace fancy. I see you in the Audi suites. You got there before
Yes.
September 23rd, but you still
Yes,
there.
I'm pre-gaming some Audi suites just to see,
Nice.
check it out to see how
Get some chicken tendies and some lamb chops, bro.
yeah, getting the veal chop and then putting my name on one of the seats here to make sure I got the good seats.
Nice. If we can, shout out the chat real quick as we continue. Jerry Cadill, big time Jerry is in the building. Jerry, how you doing? My brother, Mr. Unpopular Opinion. Listen, shout out to my bro, Unpopular Opinion. Just want to put this out there right now. Pop has joined the team. He's going to be helping us out backstage when it comes to clipping a lot of the clips for our shows on the channel. As well, he will be dropping some shorts on the channel. If you guys can, please support my guy, Unpopular Opinion. Make sure you follow his YouTube channel. They just had the first episode talking Yankees. So make sure you support everybody that's a part of the community. Jonathan is in the building. Salute to Jonathan. 3 capital S's to the dome. Truth always is in the building. My guy Truth, how you doing? My father, my YouTube pop, Steve Schumann, how you doing? Stevie Pooh, what it do? Anthony Medina de la Isla, how you doing? Of course, Vikings is in the building. Vikings, how you doing? Li Yankee King, the only troll that we actually acknowledge is Li. Salute to you. Anthony Garcia, what it do? My guy Carlos from Yankees Farmers in the building. Salute. 3 capital S's. Of course, Damian Serrano, my guy AK-47. Mr. Sean Brown and G-Man for life. The familiars here. If you
all
guys
the heavy
can,
hitters.
smack that like button. Of course, Mr. 161 himself is in the building. Jason, how you
what's
doing?
happening?
Like I said, 17 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. Also, we are at 889 subscribers, almost at our mark of getting to 1K. So if you guys have any friends or family or any buddies that you just chop it up with, share our link, help support the channel as we grow. But TC, the Yankees got some news. We hired the hitting coach. The mayor himself, Mr. Sean Casey, lifetime 305 batting average, right? If you're a Yankee fan, you remember him from the 2006 ALDS when he killed us playing for the Detroit Tigers. He won a World Series with the Boston Red Sox as well. TC, how you feel about Mr. Sean Casey?
Well, actually, I'm shocked that they actually fired somebody that we've been calling for, for probably since the beginning of the season, how bad things have been going. So, yeah, that was shocking. They finally got rid of Dylan Lawson, brought in Sean Casey. He's Aaron Boone's friend, so I don't know if that was he had an influence on the hiring there, but hopefully he turns his team around. I mean, he does have some knowledge. He's a good hitter, like you said, 30. I think it was 302 career batting average. I mean, I watch him on MLB Network, and what he says, I mean, he knows hitting, and he knows what he's talking about, and hopefully it translates to these hitters. I mean, I know he doesn't have a time machine like Pete said, bring back 2015 Josh Donaldson and 2019 LeMahieu and and these other guys, Stanton, but hopefully this new approach is contact first rather than this launch angle and home run or nothing. hopefully he can bring his knowledge over. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's a good
Yeah.
step in the right direction.
No, definitely. You bring up the relationship that or the connection that he has with Aaron Boone. And for those that don't know, Cincinnati, like Aaron Boone came up with the Cincinnati Reds, just like Sean Casey. At one point, Sean Casey and Aaron Boone, they were roommates for years. So they have a well documented history in the past knowing each other. If you guys are familiar with Sean Casey from watching the MLB Network, like my guy TC said, you could tell the type of personality Sean Casey has. It's what the Yankees need right now, right? Is he going to be able to jump in a time machine and take Josh Donaldson back 5 years? No. Can he do that with Giancarlo Stanton? No. What he can do is be a voice, a new voice that could just change the atmosphere that's in a room. Right. I was talking about this last night with Pete, Mario, and Kev. Shout out my guys over there. Make sure you follow Mario and Kev as well. But I was talking about this last night with them. And then I was thinking about it a little bit further. When you look at the type of personality Sean Casey has, like I said, he's a type of guy that you can't get him to shut up for about like 10, 15 minutes. He's going to keep on talking to you.
He got his nickname, the Mayor.
Exactly. Dylan Lawson seemed like he was more reserved with his personality, more keeping things to himself. So Sean Casey, if he's seeing you take BP, he's more likely going to talk to you and try to figure something out. When you look at Dylan Lawson, like I said, more reserved. He's going to wait till after you're out of the BP to have these conversations. So it's just a different voice. And like they were saying on Foul Territory, shout out my guys over there, AJ Pazinski, Scott, Eric Kratz, and Scott Braun. They were talking about how he's just going to loosen up what's a tight locker room, right? Because the Yankees locker room is very tight, very uptight as well, walking around with a stick up your ass and shit. But I think Sean Casey will be that type of personality that the Yankees need right now, especially during a time when fans are quick to bounce on anyone. When it comes to Dylan Lawson, he was a sacrificial lamb. Us fans, we were upset, especially how we've been playing for the last couple of weeks, losing the last 2 to Baltimore, losing the series against the Chicago Cubs, losing against the St. Louis Cardinals. These were teams that we were supposed to win these series. And with fans being upset going into the All-Star break, having these days off, the organization had to give us something. And Dylan Lawson, he was a sacrificial lamb. And you could tell that the Sean Casey thing was going to happen sooner rather than later, right? You could tell that this is something that it wasn't an overnight decision. This is something that
they had to be talking with him before,
having the conversations, and maybe next year he would have been hired to be the hitting coach next year. But middle of the season decision, right? Brian Cashman had to get rid of a hitting coach. First time he ever did that over the past 28 years or 30 years being with the Yankees organization.
That's why I was shocked.
So that's a change. Right, doing something that he's not used to doing, firing somebody in the middle of the season and making a change. That's not something Brian Cashman is used to doing, right? Not happy with where the team is at, but I'm happy that they did something different. What's your thoughts, TC?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, Lawson was a scapegoat. I mean, they had to get rid of somebody. I mean, not going to get rid of Boone, not getting rid of Cashman. These players, I mean, they're paying these salaries, but I'm sorry, but Josh Donaldson, you got to go. I mean, that should be the next shoe to drop right there. I mean, he's got to go. They got to make some other changes. I hope this is just not the only change that they make. I mean, this is a good step, right? Like I said, in the right direction. Bringing in a fresh guy, new perspective on hitting. Loosen up the clubhouse.
You good, TC? Oh, my guy TC may be frozen, stuck in the matrix, but I'm going to bring up a chat real quick. Unpopular opinion says, I think Boone is on the hot seat. And if he goes down with the ship, a.k.a. fired, he wants to go down with his people, his way. It makes sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. He wants to go down like the Titanic, still playing that music while the ship is sinking. TC, if you can, just refresh your page and rejoin the link. I'm just remove you real quick, just until my guy TC joined back with us. The internet is crazy nowadays. My guy Jason, I know a lot of you guys are talking about the MLB draft. We'll bring up the MLB draft and the Yankees pick later on in the show. We just wanted to have the conversation right now about Sean Casey and where this team should go moving forward, right? Because the trade deadline is literally right around the corner, right? The front office is going to have to be super creative this trade deadline to make some moves actually happen. Right, my guy Steve said, I expect that bringing in Casey will give JD at least a couple of more weeks to see if JD can benefit from Casey. Casey is able to, from what Casey is able to share. Yes, Steve, because the number one person in this lineup that desperately needs some type of voice is DJ LeMahieu. It's sad to see what the Machina has turned into. Hopefully, DJ LeMahieu, with a new voice from Sean Casey, a new approach, can fix things up. Because DJ LeMahieu, he kept talking, he kept saying that growing up, he was never. I see you backstage, TC. I'm about to bring up right now that DJ was never a guy that was big on mechanics. He was never a guy that worked on his hitting technique. Having Sean Casey can help DJ LeMahieu, especially if DJ LeMahieu was never focused on that before. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
All right, TC, my guy TC just stuck in the matrix. Jason, this is a great one right here. My gut tells me one reason they wouldn't call up Peraza is because they didn't want him working with Lawson. But I feel they won't acknowledge that. Yeah, they definitely won't acknowledge that. That's why they keep double downing when it comes to their bad moves. They keep double downing on their bad moves. TC, I'm just put you in the back right now until you're able to refresh and jump back. But TC, just know your spot is here with me, bro. NFE is in the building, my guy. How you doing, baby? Salute, salute, salute. Acevedo, TC Internet. Word, bro. Word. That's what it is. Brian Cashman is shutting us down because we keeping it real over here. Let me just bring this up real quick because I got a few quotes from Mr. Sean Casey himself that I want to be able to share with you guys that's in the chat. And if you guys can, we got 31 people in the building, so keep on smacking that like button. But my guy AK47, I think bringing in a new hitting coach was a good start, but we need a lot more than that. Unfortunately, do you think they will call up anyone or get anyone in the trade? They definitely going to have to make a trade. Right, AK. It would be nice for them to make a trade, but sooner rather than later, instead of waiting for the last day of the trade deadline in order to make a move. But knowing this team, they're desperately going to have to make a move. Definitely. When it comes to Josh Donaldson, we're going to see. We got a new hitting coach. Let's see what happens with Josh Donaldson. But my expectations for Donaldson is he needs to be off this team by the time August 1st comes around. And if he's gone, then you got to call up Peraza. You desperately have to call up Peraza. And like Jason said, the Yankees probably didn't want Dylan Lawson messing around with Oswald Peraza and his bat. So maybe that was the reason why they never called up Peraza. Just trying to think outside the box, everybody. But like I said, I got a couple of quotes from Mr. Sean Casey that I want to bring up real quick. Chris Kreiner, he reported it on Twitter, and this is what Casey had to say. As far as our hitters go, talking about the Yankees, I think every guy is different. There is no way to cookie cut hitters. And if you start doing that, you get into trouble and utilize strengths they may have. I'm going to get to know each player's approach at the plate. Brandon Cunny, I thought this was interesting from Sean Casey. Another one. Press release announcing he's taking the Yankees job. Was this not already happening? I have to think it was. And that's what I said it earlier with TC. I think these were conversations that was already happening. But the way that the Yankees finished up the first half of the season, something had to happen. Us fans, we were calling for blood. We were calling for blood right now. But here's my guy, TC. TC, what's your thoughts on this quote from Sean Casey? I know you get a little stuck in the matrix over there.
Sorry about that. I don't know. They're freezing me.
I
don't know what's going on.
It's because you keeping it real. That's why. Sunil says, Hector, scroll up and give me your thoughts on my take earlier. I got you right now, Sunil. Hold on one second. Sunil. Let's see. The death sentence for Dylan Lawson's demise was chicken parmesan. Yep. The good news, I save 15% by switching my car insurance to Geico. Sunil, you are a national treasure, Sunil. No, I want to read you this quote from Sean Casey.
Yeah.
He said, as far as our hitters go, I think every guy is different. There is no way to cookie cut the hitters. And if you start doing that, you get into trouble and you start underutilizing strengths that they may have. I'm going to get to know each player's approach at the plate. What's your thoughts on that from
No, that's great.
Casey?
Yeah, that's a great approach. I mean, every guy isn't the same, and if you're
Mm-hmm.
going to tell everybody to swing for the fence like the same launch angle, it won't work.
Nope.
Every guy has their own, their stance, the way they carry the, load up, where they hold their bat. I mean, every guy is different. I mean, I know, when I was watching Don Mattingly, yeah, I know you know, uh, um, he had to worry about because he had the back injury, so he had to
Mm-hmm.
make different adjustments to his stance. So every guy has to do something different. You're not going to watch a film on Giancarlo Stanton and then Gleyber Torres try to do exactly the same thing. It's not going to work. So I like that he's taken this approach. Every hitter is different.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when you're a teacher, every kid is different. Every way they learn is different. So I like this approach. I like it. I like it a lot.
And Jason just said a report was confirmed. Cashman went to Howe and acknowledged a need for a new hitting coach. And he asked Howe to make a change and give him his blessing. The reporting is confirmed. And
Mm,
apparently, this was before the last game of the Cubs series. And this is the only issue I have. Guys in the chat, let me know. Jason in the chat, let me know. TC also, let me know if I'm off base of this. If the Yankees were going to make a move, if the Yankees the night before, if they had conversations between Aaron Boone, Brian Cashman, Hal Steinbrenner, and they all three of them knew that Dylan Lawson was going to be replaced by Sean Casey, why wait till after the game? You should have done it before the game. You set a precedent for the players and for the fans. If the fans knew going into that last game, Dylan Lawson is fired and the Yankees are going to be bringing in a new hitting coach by the time the second half of the season start, us fans would have been able to digest that loss a lot easier than how we were
mm,
digesting it after losing to the Cubs, right? So what I'm saying is that if you knew you were going to make that move, you should have done it before the game, letting your players know things are going to change, things are going to switch up. You probably would have got a spark out of your players letting go
mhm.
somebody because people start waking up and their eyes get open, right? So
Yeah.
that was my only issue. If you guys had the conversation the night before, you should have fired Dylan Lawson before that game and go into that game knowing you got a new hitting coach on the way.
Yeah, but the Yankees, this new age of everything needs to be politically correct and don't hurt anybody's feelings. I think they didn't want to hurt this guy's feelings. Their off day, just let's just make sure it kind of goes under the radar. But it's not in Yankee land. I mean, we
Mm,
were all perked up. I mean, Twitter was blowing up right away as soon as Sean Casey was announced, and
mhm.
everybody made a video on Dylan Lawson being fired. Shot, so you can't hide it, but the Yankees, they try to brush it under the oh, no worries here, just
Yeah.
we'll move along, nothing to see.
And I know some people they may have a different take when it comes to the Dylan Lawson's firing. Like my guy Steve right here, can't never disagree with my pop Steve. He said I think waiting until the break makes sense for the change, right? And
Yeah.
everyone has a different take when it comes to that. Hector Cruz, shout out my guy Hector Cruz. What was Casey doing before the hiring? He was working for the MLB Network, and then he branched off to start his own little podcast media
Hmm.
company. But you could look back at the demos that Sean Casey has get whenever the MLB Network was talking hitting and Sean Casey was around. Sean Casey was in every one of those videos. It was
Yeah.
always Sean Casey, and it was always Bill Ripken,
Billy
Cal
Ripken. Yeah.
Ripken's brother. Yeah, Billy
Hmm.
Ripken. Those are always the two that were talking hitting on the MLB Network. And honestly, I used to love watching Sean Casey and hearing how he dissect hitting and what his
Hmm.
approach was at the plate, especially 2012, 2011, like right after he retired and went jumped right into the MLB Network.
Hmm.
Listen, I'm happy with the hiring of Sean Casey. Like I said, it's a different voice, it's a
Right.
different personality. The Yankees are more uptight. I think Sean Casey will loosen a lot of guys up, and maybe a different voice can switch things up for these hitters. You never know.
Yeah, and he's outspoken. Like you were saying, Dylan Lawson never really came, in front of the press and the media about, and answered questions. His answers were horrible. I mean,
Mhm.
absolutely off base. I mean, the guy never played professional baseball, so. But I think Sean Casey will hold these guys accountable. He'll be in front of the media and explain to them like what's wrong, what's going on with these guys. Yeah, I'm working with so and so and this and that. So I think that's what we as fans want to hear. That's
Yeah.
the frustrations that are part of what we're feeling. Why how
Hmm.
kids so confused? We want accountability. We don't want this complacency of just doing the same thing over and over and over and not care. If we have a guy that comes out and explains, okay, well, put the fans at ease. All right, yep. You explained
Hmm.
it. Thank you. That's all we want. That's all
Facts.
we want.
Facts. We just want to hear what's the game plan. That's all.
Yeah.
I've said this a bunch of times. I remember when the Yankees, when they first added the Yankees batting practice show. I remember, right, growing up when I was in high school and they added that show. The way that Don Mattingly would talk about hitting
Hmm.
approach when he was the hitting coach for the Yankees. The way that Kevin Long would sit down
Hmm.
and actually have conversations. Even Marcus Thames at when he was the hitting coach for the Yankees. I don't even remember. I don't know how Dylan Lawson even sounds. I don't remember him having those same conversations like
Hmm.
other Yankee hitting coaches were. And you brought something interesting, and I want to have the conversation. Your brother put it in the chat as well. He said,
Hmm.
Hector, do you think that the players didn't respect/listen to Lawson because of his lack of MLB experience? Most of the guys are veterans. They should be able to make adjustments on their own. Just a thought.
Facts.
Now,
Yep.
I see a lot of people talking about this. Personally, I'm not sure if the players respected him or not. I'm an outside party looking in, so I'm not sure. I'm not a part of the Yankees organization. The fact that he doesn't have MLB experience may be a reason why some of the players weren't listening to his philosophy.
Hmm.
But I pointed out yesterday that you don't necessarily have to have MLB experience. If you're around the game, it's
Right.
totally different. But being a major league player, I'm not sure if you need that to be a batting coach. But if you're around the game, say like for instance, Aaron Boone, right? Just say hypothetically, he was never a major league player. At least he was around the game. At least he
Yeah.
was around the Cincinnati Reds when his father was a part of the team. At least he was around MLB settings and understood the approach that MLB hitters have. And the fact that he was able to have conversations with former major league players probably can help him out. But for Dylan Lawson, he comes from the collegiate ranks. And I think players, when they get to the MLB level, no matter how much of a talent they are, how much of a superstar they are, they're still going to have respect for those coaches that helped them out in high school, that helped
Hmm.
them out in college, that helped them out in T-ball. They're going to have that respect for the coaches. But at the major league level, listening to someone, because if Aaron Judge, he gets a phone call from his college coach or his high school coach, listen, your batting stance is a bit off. Aaron Judge may hang up the phone, right? He
Yeah.
definitely may hang up the phone. But I don't put that much weight into him not having MLB experience like other people does, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. But Austin Wells might tell him to come over for some chicken parm, and he might change his mind. So
Maybe that may be the
yeah.
new hitting coach for the Yankees in the future, Austin Wells.
Yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out real quick. My guy Enzo Cardona's in the building.
What's up,
Lorenzo, how
Lorenzo?
you doing? We also got 42 people in the building. So if you guys can't smack that like button, let's get up to 40 likes on the streams. Go ahead, TC. What's your thoughts? What I said?
No, I mean I agree. I mean, but what I wanted to bring up too is the fact that like if you're at a job and you're in the owner, just take George Steinbrenner for some. Say he owns your business, whatever. He's worked it all the his whole life. You've been with the company 20 some years, blood, sweat, and tears. You love the guy. He passes away. You hand it over to the son who has no idea, just inherited the team or the business, has no idea how to run it, just starts doing this and left and right. You're not going to respect the guy. You don't respect someone that just got inherited, a job, inherited a business. And that's what I feel like Dylan Lawson was inherited this just based on some analytics that, these guys in the front office all build all their knowledge or their philosophy around. And that's why I kind of think that the players saw that and it's like, this guy doesn't have any professional hitting. I mean, this guy is just he's going off swings from like a AI bot or so. I mean, I don't think he's really going off really watching film. It just definitely didn't show. I mean, I get it, the players have to produce. I mean, and some of these veterans, they've been in the league so long, they
Mhm.
should be able to make adjustments, like Casey said. But I don't know. I think it was time, and they
Mm.
did. They lost respect for the guy.
Yeah, yeah. It may, something was going to happen. Like I've said several times, the Yankees front office, they needed to give us somebody. Somebody needed to be meat on a stick, and Dylan Lawson was that meat on a stick that we definitely needed. When it comes to Sean Casey, he was also a guy that he went out of his way to go oppo field. He went
Oh
out of his
yeah.
way as a left-handed hitter. When Sean Casey was in the big leagues, that's when the switching and the defensive, that's when that first started coming into play. And
Mm-hmm.
Sean Casey, copy, you're gonna leave that open for me? I'm going opposite field.
Yeah,
You're
he
gonna
didn't
leave
care.
you're not gonna stand that third base? Copy. I'm gonna hit it right where the third baseman should be, and I'm gonna get a double because you want to be stupid. That's the type of approach Sean Casey has, and I definitely think a lot of these veterans that are in this lineup need to hear that type of philosophy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Rizzo,
Yeah.
it's a guy that he loves to go opposite field, but I think with the launch angles and how he started the season, 11 home runs, hitting over 300, he fell in love with that Yankees launch angle philosophy and
Yeah.
fell out of what was making him a good hitter, and that's staying back on the pitches.
Right.
Hopefully with Sean Casey, different philosophy, he can start going back to left field, and that batting average can come back up, and he can start turning on the inside fastball. Just
Yeah.
saying.
No, totally agree with you. I mean, that's hitting. That's
Mhm.
in the 80s and 90s hitting. You know, you take Wade Boggs, Mattingly, Kirby Puckett, Tony Gwynn, Rod Carew, those type hitters. I mean, they use the whole field, and
Mhm.
that's a philosophy this team is going to need, because it's this home run or nothing. It's not working.
No.
We got to manufacture some runs. We got to use all the field. We got to use some of our advantages. Get Volpe on base more. I mean, some of these guys. It's got to change,
I
and
want to
hopefully
shout
he's the
out
guy to do it.
I want to shout out a few people in the chat. My guy Robbie's in the building. Robbie, what it do? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. Like I said before, my guy Sean Browning is in the building. NYY News, Ruben El
Ruben.
Numero Uno's in the building. Ruben, how you doing? Also, I want to bring this up because Damian put a good point in the chat. I would love to see Casey's impact on Gleyber Torres, right? And my man Damian just set it up perfect for me, because I brought up the fact that Casey loves to go opposite field when he was in the big leagues. Gleyber Torres, this is a guy that all of us Yankee fans know he needs to be going up the middle and to right field. When you look at Gleyber Torres' spray chart, majority of his hits are towards left field. He's pulling a lot of his pitches. His spray chart, it needs to be flipped. He needs to go opposite field. When Gleyber Torres' focus is going oppo, he has a 300 plus batting average.
Exactly. Yep.
300. In his rookie year, when he hit 270, 280, 20 doubles, majority of his hits were to right field. So if Sean Casey can have Gleyber Torres going back to the approach that helped him out when he first came up, I think Gleyber Torres would be the biggest beneficiary to having Sean Casey as the hitting coach. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, no, 100% agree with that. I mean, you could see it when he uses Gleyber uses all the field. His his average goes up, and the slumps go away, because when he's trying to pull an outside pitch, it's just a rolled over ground ball to short. I mean, you got to use where the pitcher pitches the ball. You got to go with it. And Casey is the perfect guy to show these hitters how to do this. I mean, that's what this guy lived on. He didn't live on home runs. I think the most he hit maybe one year was 25, 24 home runs. I mean, he was always around 300, doubles, singles. I mean, this is the guy that we needed to bring in, and hopefully we can put some of those type hitters around Judge to help this team, and not just that home run approach.
Oh, I'm just looking up Casey's stats right now. Lifetime 302 batting average, 130 home runs, 1,500 hits, 5,000 at bats. When you look at his career, he played from 1997 to 2008. So you could possibly say like 11 seasons. Like you said, the most home runs he had was 25 in 1999. He had 99 RBIs twice in a season. When you look at his batting average, he done had seasons he hit 332, 315, 310, 324, 312, 322 his last season with the Boston Red Sox and limited at bats. But this is a guy that he was a dog in his days. This is not a guy that Marcus Thames, shout out, all the credit goes to Marcus Thames, but Marcus Thames as a major league hitter didn't come close to what Sean Casey was as a major league hitter.
No, no, no. And his resume speaks for himself. I mean,
And like Casey said as well, when you look at his strikeouts in a season, hold on, wait, where's it at right now? His strikeout rate, he never struck out more than 100 times in a season. The most he struck out in a season was 88 times, and that was in 1999. 2000, he struck out 80 times, and then after that, 63, 47, 58, 36, and 48. He was never a big strikeout guy. So this is a guy that always put bat on ball, and I think that's the type of hitting coach we need, a guy that knows how to put bat on ball. We need to have contact hitters and get away from this launch angle approach. I'm going to take a quote from the great Alex Rodriguez when he said, ball that analytic stuff up and throw it in the trash. What was your thoughts on A-Rod before we get into the grades for the season?
I think that's all. I mean, every fan in Yankee land has the same idea. We got to get rid of this analytics, because guess what? The Yankees don't know how to use it. If they knew how to use it, yes, but they don't. So let's just throw that aside, throw it in the trash, move on, new approach, and let's see what happens in the second half, because that first half was a stinker to me. It was horrible. And as of right now, they're not even in a playoff spot. So
no, we're not in a playoff spot. We're literally one game away from being in last place in our division, tied with the Boston Red Sox. And with the way that this team looks, it looks like we're on life support right now. This offense, remove Aaron Judge from this offense. We have a worse batting average than the Kansas City Royals. We are last in batting average. We are last in on-base percentage. We are last in OPS, removing Aaron Judge from our lineup. That right there should be alarming. That right there should tell you that something is not adding up. The math is not mathing.
Right. And I hope it's just not Sean Casey. I hope there's other moves to be made, because that's definitely not going to fix everything. They need a lot of changes. So
I want to bring up my guy Li Yankee King. Like I said, Li is the only troll that we acknowledge. Li says, hot take, Yankees and Yankee fans will see a different Gleyber Torres with Sean Casey. I'm fully in belief that with Sean Casey, you will see the best Gleyber Torres we have ever seen.
Okay.
If the Yankees want to make some damage and make up some ground when it comes to the wild card, that needs to come true. That definitely needs to come true, right? And like I said, I was having this conversation yesterday with Pete, Mario, and Kev. We have a love-hate relationship with Gleyber Torres, right? When you look at if you look at Gleyber Torres on paper, his stats alone, you look at his stats, it pops out. Is top 5 second baseman in Major League Baseball. He pops out. When you look at his stats on paper, you want Gleyber Torres. But when you look at the stuff he does on the field, it makes you shake your head and say, what is wrong with this kid? I don't want this guy on my team. Why is he not hustling out of the box? Why is he botching double plays? The way that he tries to fill the ball, it seems like a worse version of Robinson Cano. Just make the play and just get the out. Stop trying to be fancy with it. Stop trying to do the shuffle pass. Stop trying to be something that you are not, Gleyber Torres. It's so annoying and so frustrating. It shows that his baseball IQ is not the strongest. His baseball IQ wasn't something that he emphasized growing up as a kid, is what you could tell. The talent is there. We know Gleyber Torres is super talented, but when it comes to his baseball IQ, if you're tagging up and if you're getting thrown out with 2 outs, forgetting how many outs there are while you're running the base pass, that goes to show me that your head is not 100% in the game. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, he does. He loses focus very easily in the game. I don't know why. I don't understand what's making him just not in the game. I mean, honestly, you brought up on the bases, not knowing how many outs there are, and just head down, not even looking at coaches. And I get it. That other game where he scored from first base, everybody was, that's what I said. He got lucky because he was held up. The third base coach held him up, head down. If they caught that relay, he was out by a mile at home.
By a mile.
And
by a mile.
That would have, oh my gosh. And what a bonehead move that was. I mean, because that put us ahead 4-3. If we would have got thrown out, oh man, he would have heard it. and he does those type of plays constantly. And the other day with the botched double play, I mean, that killed us.
I want to
And it's
bring up a chat, but my guy Truth always, as a Yankees supporter, I hope the Yankees don't make the playoffs. It will force Hal to clean up shop and focus on a better team. And I said this last night. I know ultimately we as fans, we want to see our team in the postseason. We want to see our team trying to compete for a championship, right? Every year, every inning, every out. I'm invested my time into this. But like Truth said, the only way changes are going to happen when it comes to Brian Cashman and when it comes to Aaron Boone, the only way changes will happen if the Yankees go through dark times.
right.
That's the only way changes are going to happen. I'm not rooting for that. I'm not rooting for this team to not make the postseason, to be under 500. But we got to take a step back and recognize if we want change, the only way that's going to happen is if the Yankees don't make the postseason. If the Yankees look god-awful, disgusting on the field, that's the only way Hal Steinbrenner is going to make changes. But the fact that we keep making it to the postseason via the wild card, the division, however we get there, is the reason why these guys are still there and changes haven't been made. What's your thoughts on that, chat, TC?
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. I mean, they do. They need a season where they just tank. Basically they're tanking. I mean, in order for change to be made, because Aaron Boone, sits in front of the media and says everything's fine. We're a professional team, and we're just catching bad breaks here and there.
World Series caliber.
Yeah, World Series caliber. Blah blah. And everyone frustrated. No, I'm sorry. You're not watching the same games we are. I'm sorry. You're trying to be Mr. Nice Guy. You should be chewing out your players for their poor performance and lack of focus. This isn't everyone gets a trophy. We're fine. It's rainbows and unicorns. Ha ha. No. This is not the baseball we're seeing.
No.
If they just sneak in the playoffs again, nothing's going to be done because Hal and Cashman, why is everyone frustrated? Why is everyone pissed? We made the playoffs. Why you guys are, spoiled Yankee fans. We gave you this, the playoffs.
We don't know what would happen with a healthy DJ. You never know what happens with a healthy DJ LeMahieu. No.
We're past that. We're smarter than that. We're fed up. Changes have to be made. I mean, I hope they do them now and not, wait until the very end and, when they don't make it or if they, just the writing's on the wall. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's change this up.
No, definitely. Changes have to be made. And that's only going to happen if the Yankees go through dark times. And I don't think it's going to happen this year. But
because they're satisfied. They're complacent.
If the Yankees don't make the playoffs, I won't be upset. I won't be upset. Do I want them to make the playoffs?
Do you want to see this team make the playoffs?
With the way that this team is constructed right now, no way. Having how many guys hitting under 200? How many guys we have hitting under 200? We got about like 3 or 4 guys in our lineup that is hitting below 200,
and that's about embarrassing. 5 hovering around 200, yeah.
And that's embarrassing. But when was the last time the Yankees, the New York Yankees, who were trying to compete for a championship year in and year out, had several guys, 5, 6 guys in their lineup hitting under 200 or barely struggling to even stay at 200? When was the last time? I don't remember seeing that. Joe Torre, he didn't have any guys hitting that bad. Joe Girardi never had guys hitting that bad. Buck Showalter never had guys hitting that bad. The 20 different managers the Yankees had in the 80s never had guys hitting that bad.
No, those were bad years.
Those were bad years.
Bad, terrible.
And hold on.
Were terrible.
I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna rephrase what I said. Those weren't bad years because if Don Mattingly, if those Yankee teams in the 80s, if the playoff structure was the way it is right now, Don Mattingly would have been in the playoffs year in and year out. The team we got right now, 2023 Yankees, would have been the Yankees in the 80s. If you didn't have the playoff structure that that MLB has right now, the 2023 Yankees would be the Yankees from the 80s, not making the postseason, not barely getting into second or third place, not being able to make it into first place. If this was the same playoff structure that was in the 80s. I want to bring up a couple of chats real quick and just let everybody know in the chat. We'll bring up everyone's chat as much as we can. But if you guys can, 43 people in the building, smack that like button for your boys. Big Time Jerry said, Hector, do you think we win 50 games in the second half? There are 71 games to play. If we do that, we'll be at 99 wins. That's a stretch. Definitely a stretch, Jerry.
50 and 21? No way.
I would love to see this team turn it around, but it's not going to happen. TC, you and I, we was having a conversation. If the Tampa Bay Rays played 500 baseball for the rest of the way, rest of the season, they will end up with 95, 96 wins. The New York Yankees, if we want to get first place in our division, we will have to go 50 and 21. Yeah. I don't think this team can go 50 and 21 how it is presently constructed.
Right. I would say that there's no way at this point. But, you know, miracles happen and teams get hot. But until I see some real change, I'm going to say there's no way they win 50 games. No. Sorry.
No, definitely.
I saw the first half and, you know, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about the first half grades. Is we going to give these guys?
Yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get into it right now because Ruben brings up a solid point, bro. It's crazy how Higgy has a higher batting average than Stanton, LeMahieu, Donaldson, Bowers, and Trevino. That right there is disgusting. I just said that and threw up at the same damn time. I literally said that and just caught myself. I threw up. I got my oxtails from last night that I ate in the back of my throat. That's how disgusting it was.
And didn't you bring up he's one of our best hitters with runners in scoring position?
He is our fourth best hitter with runners in scoring position. Our fourth best hitter.
Our backup catcher.
Our backup catcher. I want to shout out 2 stoner detectives in the chat. Salute, salute, 3 capital S's. If you guys can, please go follow 2 stoner detectives. This is Sandy, her second channel that they got. They do a lot of great work on this channel. Make sure you guys go and support that. Also, I know you guys saw the episode yesterday with Sandy and Julian on the pipe. They are killing it. Shout out to Sandy and Julian with the amazing work that they do.
Good info.
But I try to stall as much as I can, but we got to talk about these grades. We got to talk about these grades. Shout out to my guy, Jonathan on Twitter. It was a very mediocre first half, to say the least. When Judge went down, everything about the Yankees went down. Like a light switched off. We need to see some serious fight in the second half. TC, overall grade for this team in the first half, I'm going to just put it out there. I give this team a D. I give this team a D. Everything is included. Starting pitching, bullpen, offense, everything is a D coming from me. What about you?
Yeah, I would have given them an F, but with the pitching, that's, you know, the bullpen especially, and with all the injuries, I'm going to have to give it a D, as well. D, maybe a D minus.
Yeah, it's just, we are lucky that we had our pitching this first half of the season, because if we didn't have this bullpen, even though Ron Marinaccio has been struggling recently, right? Even though we don't even know when's the last time you seen Wandy Peralta pitch? Do you remember?
Been a week, I think.
I don't remember the last time. Does anybody know what is wrong with Wandy Peralta?
Is he hurt? I don't know what's going on with him.
Well, Wandy Peralta, I said this yesterday, he is suffering from the Scott Proctor effect. The Yankees overused him in the first half. And he's running out of gas, and we saw it over his last few outings. Wandy Peralta, he is gassed, and he definitely needs some extended rest.
Yeah. I mean, like all these guys, they're overused because our starters only go 4 or 5 innings.
Yo, L.I. Yankee King. Breaking news: Yankees plays hitting coach Sean Casey on the 15-day IL with illness, which was reported that he looks at the Yankees' offensive numbers.
Yeah, he got sick. He threw up as he was looking at the stats.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But Clay Holmes, let's talk about Clay Holmes, right? Because I think Clay Holmes was a big surprise for a lot of people, especially with the way he was struggling to start the season, you know, and it was a continuation from last year in the second half. But in the first half, so far this season, Clay Holmes, 36 and 1/3 innings, 2.23 ERA. He has a 2.10 FIP, a 1.10 WHIP, 47 strikeouts, 15 walks. He is 10 of 12 when it comes to save opportunities. I'm happy when it comes to Clay Holmes in the first half. If I gotta just grade Clay Holmes, I'm giving him a B plus. It's not an A because of the hiccups in the beginning of the season, but it's a solid B plus, borderlining A minus. What's your thoughts on Clay?
No, I agree. That's where I would put him. Yeah, he did have the hiccups in the beginning of the year, but man, he is the last, it was 30 or so games. He has just been phenomenal. I mean, that cutter or whatever he's throwing, that the sinker, it's too hard to hit. These guys, and he throws at 98. I mean, it's just he's up in the zone, down in the zone. He's all over. He's hitting his spots, and with more than 3-to-1 ratio on strikeouts to walks. That's phenomenal. We the walks always kill us, and we have a guy coming out of the bullpen that's not walking a lot of guys. That's great. And yeah, he's back to the Clay Holmes we saw. Recent past.
Yeah, and when you bring in Clay Holmes, bases loaded situation, nobody out, it's kind of tough for him to get out of the situation. He did the best he can his last outing. We saw what happened against the New York Mets, how he was able to get out of that pickle. But when it comes to Clay Holmes, he started implementing more of a sweeper, right? We all knew he had that sinker and slider. He started throwing that sweeper into the mix, and that's what's been the big change for Clay Holmes.
Right.
Hopefully, he can continue his early success. And we're not having a different conversation by the time the postseason comes around. But I'm happy with Clay Holmes. I would give him a solid B plus, like I said. Let's look at the
right spot in that bullpen. Yes, definitely.
Let's look at the rest of the bullpen momentarily. When it comes to Ron Marinaccio, the kid from Toms Rivers, New Jersey, he was a phenomenal piece last year for us, a nice rookie. But this year, same thing like Wandy Peralta, being overused to start the season. And when you look at his stuff now, his fastball is barely touching 94, 90.
Yeah.
We was used to Ron Marinaccio throwing 96 miles per hour with that devastating changeup. And now when you look at it, his fastball is sitting 90, 91, 92, barely even touching 93. I hate to say this, but I got to give Ron Marinaccio a C minus.
Yeah, I'm with you. At least a C. Yeah, I'm right there. I mean, he's lost control too. He comes in, he's throwing balls all over the place, and he's used a lot. He's almost like I think he's the first guy out of the bullpen all the time. Boone rushes to get, he loves to use that bullpen.
Yeah,
and he's got Marinaccio warming up in the 4th, 5th inning every game. And I think it's took a toll on him, and you can see it. You can see the differences from last year to this year. Everything's down. They might need to rest him because he might have some arm injury that he's not telling us. Like, I think Severino's hiding injuries. So these guys are just trying to gut through it, and it's hurting the team because he doesn't look too good out there.
It's hurting the team more than it's helping it, right? And like Medina said, Boone went to Marinaccio too much too early, and it looks like he's burnt out. Absolutely, Anthony. Absolutely, Medina, 100%. Shout out to Yankee Cow in the building. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Yankee Cow. Yankee Cow, he is always taking his time when it comes to sharing our lives on his Yankee community. So I just want to say, Yankee Cow, I always appreciate for the support that you've been showing us on the channel. But he said, Hector, let's turn it around. Let's start making changes starting now. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to start making changes.
We made one, so let's go.
We made one. Let's see what else comes with it, because this is not the only move that needs to happen. Other moves need to happen as well. Josh Donaldson needs to get DFA'd. Let's talk about Josh Donaldson. Now that we bring up Josh Donaldson, let's talk about Donaldson. Before I do that, shout out to my guys, Alex and Luca. Big Blue in the Bronx is in the building. Salute to the 3 capital S's. If you guys can, go support the Twins, the Twin Bills. I know a lot of you guys are sub to their channel. If you aren't sub to their channel, go help our familiar out over there. Shout out to our guys. But let's talk about JD. I know we touched on the bullpen, Clay Holmes, Marinaccio. We'll get back to the bullpen, but we brought up JD. JD, to me, he gets a big fat. You see that thing on the screen, that F?
Oh, yeah.
That's what Josh Donaldson gets for me. He gets a big ass F, and he needs to take that F and put it in the middle of DFA. That's what Josh Donaldson needs. You like that? You like that? The DFA with
I
the
do.
F. You like that, right?
I like it. I would like that on the screen instead. DFA.
Yeah, yeah.
And the news, breaking news. Li, you got breaking news? DFA Josh Donaldson. I mean, that's what we're waiting for. So yeah, he's F minus. Is there lower G H? I don't know because he's
I don't
lower
know.
than the F. Because
Matter of fact, you got to put the Z. That's when the teacher has to have the
Z.
conversation with the
Yeah, Z.
parents.
See me after class. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He gets summer school and whatever else. Yeah, he's horrible. Absolutely horrible. No idea what to do up on that at the plate. He's just swinging for the fence, pimps pop outs. He just smiles when he strikes out, and that's what gets me even more.
It's the smiling. It's the nonchalant attitude.
Yeah, it's that attitude, and it's reflected in his defense as well. I mean, before I would have gave Josh Donaldson A for defense. Now I'm saying C. He's made some fumbles and bumbles. He looks clueless out there. It's his hitting has carried over to his fielding now. The guy has lost he's lost all his talent. He's done. He needs to go. And us fans watching him getting, penciled in the lineup day after day after day with batting, what is he, 150, 140? I mean, 10 hits and 8 are homers. I mean, that's a joke. Absolute joke. And until he's gone, I don't know, these fans are, I don't know. I don't know if we can put up with this anymore. He's got to go.
I want to shout out my guy El Don Sicario in the building. El Limon Don, que lo que, mi hermano. How you feeling, baby? But yeah, bro, I agree with you. When it comes to Josh Donaldson, and we don't. Has there been an update? Because didn't he get injured in the last game and they took him out?
He pulled his calf.
He pulled something. So hopefully the Yankees can pass an envelope under the table to the Yankees doctor to diagnose him.
60-day IL, please.
60-day IL, so the insurance can pick up the money and the Yankees could just DFA him. The time has ran its course when it comes to Josh Donaldson.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be on this team anymore. By the time we get to Colorado, he shouldn't even make that trip with the team.
No, he's had enough at bats.
Enough is enough. We've seen enough of him. Hold on, let me pull up Josh Donaldson's stats. But I think we can all agree, Donaldson.
You want to be sick if you want to, bring up his stats.
I know, right? But
make sure you're
bring it up real quick. Make sure you guys don't have no food in front of you.
Yeah, guys.
For this season, Josh Donaldson is hitting 152. He has 10 home runs, 15 hits though.
Oh, okay, 5 hits other than a home run.
Yeah, 5 other hits. That's more than a home run. But when you look at his numbers overall,
one double.
He is having the worst season of his career. 31 strikeouts. He has an on-base percentage of 232. He has a slugging of 465. It's just god awful. It's just hilarious.
On-base percentage, lower than some of our average, our lowest averages. Wow. Yeah. That says enough. Sean Casey should just go in and say, "Hey, are we getting rid of this guy?"
Sean Casey, you know what Sean Casey should do? You guys seen that movie 300? You see how he was Spartan kicked into the pit? That's what Sean Casey need to do with Josh Donaldson. Walk into that Yankee clubhouse and just kick Josh Donaldson in the chest into the pit. Like Sandy said, facts. Yankees should just cut their law and get rid of him. Absolutely. Like I said, they need to stop double downing on the bad decisions they make. You keep double downing on these horrible decisions. Instead of just admitting it didn't work out with Josh Donaldson, you're double downing on Josh Donaldson and you're forcing a situation that's not going to work out. It's like the movie Mean Girls, right? You ever seen the movie Mean Girls? Stop trying to make fetch happen, Gretchen. It's not going to happen. Just had to throw that out there, right? Stop trying to make fetch happen. Like Damien says, this is Sparta. Yes, absolutely. Bah, right into the pit.
Yeah, I mean, Cashman's got an ego. He doesn't want to, admit he made a mistake. But if he gets rid of him now and brings in, a better player, like bring up Peraza, I mean, we'll be cheering for you. Thanks, Cashman. Thanks a lot. You turned our season around. I mean, by just sitting on this guy, you're making it worse for yourself.
Let's move around the diamond. We started at third base. Yeah. Let's move over to catcher right now. When it comes to the catching position, Kyle Higashioka, for me, he gets a C+, right? He gets, as a backup catcher, the offense he's been able to put out, being one of our most reliable hitters with runners in scoring position. I think he has the 4th best batting average and I think the third most plate appearances on our team with runners in scoring position. So when it comes to Kyle Higashioka, I give him a C+. When it comes to Jose Trevino, our amigo,
Oof.
I got to give Jose Trevino a C-. The offense, what he provided us last year, flash in the pan. We should have recognized he wouldn't be able to follow up with the same type. But his offense this year has been god awful. I mean, the pitch selection that he swings at, he got pitches that are like in his armpit that he's swinging at. Literally in his armpit, and he's swinging at it.
Balls are hitting him, and he's
defensively. Jose Trevino hasn't fallen off from last year. He's an amazing defensive catcher. When it comes to his offense, he is struggling. But the thing with this, the Yankees, we would be able to survive with Jose Trevino and his numbers if all the other guys were performing. If Giancarlo Stanton was performing, we can survive Jose Trevino. If DJ LeMahieu was being DJ LeMahieu, we could survive Jose Trevino. But the fact that Jose Trevino, his offensive number sticks out is because the rest of the guys aren't keeping up their end of the bargain. So that's why Jose Trevino, he gets highlighted and he sticks out like a sore thumb in that lineup.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. I mean, when everybody's doing bad, the spotlight it goes on everybody. I mean, because like you said, if everyone's doing well, Trevino hitting 230, 240, no big deal. But now that everyone's struggling, yeah. But with Higgy, I'm gonna actually give him a B- because he caught a perfect game, which was great.
I forgot to bring that up. Go ahead, TC.
Forgot about that, and he's had some clutch hits in limited at bat, limited time, and he's got more pop than Trevino. So I'm gonna give him a B-. His defense is fine. Trevino, I'm gonna give a little lower. I'm gonna actually give him a D. His throw to second base has fallen off huge. He doesn't get anybody out. His arm, I don't know what happened to his arm. He calls a good game. He's a good pitch framer. His offenses fell off the table. He gives us nothing offensively. Like you said, he's swinging at balls over his head, in his chest, at his feet. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, I'm gonna give him a D because it's unfortunate, and we have someone in the minors, Ben Rortvedt, that was part of a deal with the Josh Donaldson deal. So why are we not using this guy? He's left-handed hitter. That's another one. Hal and Cashman, wake up! You got a good hitter out there, and would change this lineup around. I don't know.
Without Aaron Judge in the lineup, Kyle Higashioka is behind Anthony Rizzo and Gleyber Torres when it comes to plate appearances with runners in scoring position, right?
Yeah.
Kyle Higashioka and 41 plate appearances with runners in scoring position, he's hitting 324. He has a 782 on base percentage. He has a 125 weighted runs created plus. Kyle Higashioka, like I said, I'm going to up that grade, and I'm going to give him a B-, like you said. He has had some clutch hit for us. And like I said, as a backup catcher, he is doing an amazing job as a backup catcher. Definitely a better season this year than it was last year. So hats off to Jose Trevino. Let's keep moving around the diamond, and let's go to first base. Anthony Rizzo, El Calzone. When it comes to Rizzo, first month of May was amazing. Boy was hitting over 300, 11 home runs. Anthony Rizzo was killing it. Ever since that, Anthony Rizzo is batting 160. His defense is still a solid Gold Glove defense at first base. That's not going to go away from him. But if I got to give Anthony Rizzo a grade, I got to give him a C. A C. I can't give him a C- or a C+. I got to give him right in the middle of C. And that's because he hasn't had a home run since May. And with Aaron Judge not in the lineup, he is on life support. So I got to give him a C.
You guys as well in the chat. Go ahead and give us.
Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Put your grade in the chat as we're going. Go ahead.
We'll look at all these grades. But yeah, for Rizzo, I'm giving him a C as well. He did start off hot. He was over 300 for a while, but ever since that Tatis incident in San Diego hit him in the neck, he's lost all his power. His average has dropped like 257 now. I mean, horrible. It fell off the table, and he's making some mental mistakes at first, and it's surprising because that's a Gold Glove guy out there, and he's losing a little focus. it gets to you. It's a mental game.
Mm-hmm.
When you're struggling at the plate, and then you get down on yourself, and it's showing and reflecting the field. He does save a lot of runs. I mean, he
He
saved Oakley a
does.
bunch of times
He's
at
still a
first.
Gold Glove first
Yeah, he
baseman. That's the
scoops.
one
He
thing.
has a good scoop at first,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I'm not being too harsh on him. I really I need to see that average come back up. But yeah,
And he's a leader on this team. Like I said, without Aaron Judge, he's trying to give you the most, but there's nothing around Anthony Rizzo to protect him. John
yeah,
Carlos can't protect him.
mm-mm,
DJ LeMahieu can't protect him. So if people are pitching around Anthony Rizzo, what can you expect him to do? The one
right,
thing, he's still getting his walks. He is still walking and he's still getting on base. That's not
mhm,
going to change, right? But the fact that he can't hit anything because they're not giving him anything to hit. And the pitches that he is getting to hit, it's just right off the bat, right off the end of the bat. So he's almost there, Anthony Rizzo. I think Anthony Rizzo in the second half, now that he had this little break for the All-Star break, I think Anthony Rizzo will come back strong in the second
I
half.
think so.
I think both Glaber and Anthony Rizzo will benefit from having Sean Casey in their ear talking hitting. So for
Hmm.
me, it's a C,
Hmm.
borderline C minus. I mean, C plus B B
Right.
minus for me when it
Yeah, I'm
comes to
right there
Rizzo.
with you on that one. Yeah.
Borderline. Let's switch over to second base, moving around the diamond. And we got two people to talk about, both Gleyber Torres and La Máquina, DJ LeMahieu. I'm going to start off with a DJ. DJ this year, he's a D. Flat up D.
Yeah.
Hitting below 220. He has his exit velocity on his at-bats are worse, are the worst of his career. He's hitting into more double plays this year than ever before. He's striking out way more than ever before.
Mhm.
His strikeout rate this year compared to last year and the year before is double. He has a double strikeout. He already passed the amount of strikeouts he had last year, and that was like 3 weeks ago, but not
Right.
even the All-Star break. So DJ LeMahieu, he's a D, bro, for me. D minus.
Yeah. With DJ, sorry to say, he needs
Yeah.
to get a lighter bat. I've been saying this for a while. I think he swings too heavy of a bat,
Mm-hmm.
or either that, or he needs some contacts or glasses or something. He's missing. He strikes out way too much, and he's just rolling over. I mean, he's DJ La Ground Out. I mean, we've nicknamed him that. It's
DJ
it's
LeGrom now.
It's like he's just doing this all the time. That's all I see him do. And this guy was a 320, 330 hitter constantly.
Easy.
So his defense is an A. He's great on defense. He plays third, second,
Mhm.
first. You could put him anywhere. But the hitting is what we count on with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sorry, but you're not going to cut it at 220. That's
Yeah.
a D. D for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Sandy said, TC said, get your eye checked, bro. Yeah, absolutely. He needs to get his eyes checked.
Yeah.
When it comes to Gleyber Torres, right? And like I said earlier, it's a love-hate relationship with Gleyber Torres. Like I said,
Mhm.
you look at his stats on paper, you fall in love with the player that's on the paper. When you look at his stats, Gleyber Torres is easy top 5 second baseman in all of Major League Baseball. Easy. When you look at his numbers with runners in scoring position,
What's up,
let me
Pete?
bring
Pete's
that
in
up
the
right
chat.
now. My brother Pete Simonetti. Oh, my broski from the
legend.
broski, the legend himself. Pete's in the building. When you look at Gleyber Torres, right? He, outside of Aaron Judge, he is our best hitter with runners in scoring position.
Mhm.
He has 73 at bats. He has a 305 batting average. He has a 923 OPS, and he has a 154 weighted runs created. So when it comes to Gleyber Torres, I have to give him a C plus, a solid C plus. The only reason it's not a B minus or a B is because of the blunders that happen on the base path. It's those little mental mistakes. It's those little defensive mishaps, like you saw against the Chicago Cubs. Like I said, stop trying to be Robinson Cano. You're not Robinson Cano. Just make the play that you can make. What got me more upset, right? Yes, you botched the double play, but you couldn't even get an out. You didn't even get an out. It's okay
Not
if you
one out,
mishandle the ball and you can't get the double play. At least get the out at first base. At bare minimum, just get the out at first base. So for me, when it comes to Gleyber, he gets a C plus.
Yeah, I think you're being kind, because I mean, yeah, he does have his hitting
You
stats are
can't
pretty good.
argue against his hitting. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. You take
right.
Aaron Judge is not on this team. You take Gleyber Torres away for this team. where will we be right now? We will be in last place. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We'll be in last place in our division if we ain't have Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, you have a point there. I mean, it could be higher, but I'm gonna go C minus. The lack of focus and the baseball IQ and the blunders are just piling up, and they're not going away. And that's all I remember right now of Gleyber Torres. All his brain farts out there and bobbling balls. And I can't remember when he came through clutch hit for us because of all these blunders that he's doing. So that's why I have to lower his grade C minus. And I was borderline D, but you're kind of convincing me because of some of his offensive stats. Without him, yeah, you're right.
You can't argue
we're
his
not
offense.
doing well without
You
him in the
can't,
lineup.
and that's more of an indictment on the front office, right? That's more of an indictment on the front office. The fact that Gleyber Torres is our second best hitter in this lineup, right? But you cannot argue against his offensive numbers, right? And if he could come back in the second half with a different approach, start going more opposite field and stop trying to pull every pitch, I think we'll see a different version of Gleyber Torres in the second half. I think the best is yet to come when it comes to Gleyber Torres.
It just would be nice to see some accountability and for Boone to just bench him when he does these mistakes. And they don't. They just seem to just roll on like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's not okay.
The Chicago White Sox did that with Luis Roberts. Look at Luis Roberts now. The first month of the season, Luis Roberts, he wasn't even running out the bag. He wasn't when he hit the ball on the ground. He wasn't. What did that manager do? Bench his ass. It was literally the first inning.
With Tampa Bay, same thing.
Wander Franco as well. Benched his ass as well. I think that's what Gleyber Torres needs. He needs a nice kick in the ass to get him back on track, right? I would love to see Aaron Boone just pull him out. Even if it's the first inning. You make a mistake, sit your ass down.
Yeah, but that's
you feel embarrassed.
No, that's not Boone's.
That's not Boone. That's not the type of person Boone is. And now he has his best friend Sean Casey, who's more of a lovey-dovey big uncle or whatever. Come on, that's not going to happen with when it comes to the Yankees. But no, I would love to see accountability, but at the same time, it is what it is when it comes to that. Let's move over to the outfield and let's start in center field. Harrison Bedard, with him being out there, with what he has provided us out there, Harrison Bader. He is our third best hitter with runners in scoring position. He has 38 plate appearances. No, he has 40 plate appearances. He has a 300 batting average. He has a 940 OPS, and he has a 147 weighted runs created. When it comes to Harrison Bader, he's a Gold Glove defender, right? His offense, it surprises you, but we take the offense. When it comes to Bader, he has a solid B+. And the only reason is a B+ is because he hasn't been able to stay on the field more than often. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to give him an A-, but yeah, he does have to stay on the field. But when he's on the field, he definitely gives us that spark. He's got speed. He doesn't miss anything in that outfield. I mean, he tracks balls all over left field, right field. I mean, he's all over the place. And honestly, I don't think we got him for his offense. We got him for his defensive, his best center fielder. So the offense is a plus. And the clutch hits this guy has come through with us. I mean, that's why I'm giving him an A-. We got to have this guy on the field. And to me, he's produced an A- grade for me.
When the Yankees have Harrison Bader in their lineup, and this is dated back to last year, they have a winning percentage over 630. When Harrison Bader is in the lineup, when he's on the field for the Yankees, they are a winning team. When Harrison Bader is not in the lineup, the Yankees are under 500. Harrison Bader, when he is healthy, he is a solid player. That's why the only reason he doesn't get an A- from me is because he hasn't been able to stay healthy. That's the only reason. If he plays an extra 10, 15 games for us, he's an A-, no doubt. But the fact that he hasn't been able to be healthy, that's the only concerns that I have. Hopefully for the rest of the season, knock on wood, he could be healthy, and that can carry us to the postseason.
I hope so.
Yeah. Let's switch it over. Right field, Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, for me, he gets an A. I know he's not healthy right now. I know he's not on the field, but you can't deny those numbers that he was putting up when he was on the field. What is that? I think he had 20 home runs before he left, or 19 home runs before he left.
He was catching fire.
He was catching fire.
It's just unfortunate he ran into the wall with his foot. I mean, you can't blame him. That's not he did it on the field. If he did something off the field, then we kind of say, hey, well,
That
what's going on? But
yeah,
the guy ran through a wall for us. He's A+
L-
for me. I'm sorry,
literally
without
ran
without
the,
Aaron, yeah,
the
without Aaron
last
Judge, we're
time
nothing.
the last time that gate was open. We had a draft for the Vietnam War. That was the last time that gate was open. That's
Yeah,
how long that gate was closed for. And Aaron Judge literally just broke through that gate like it was
yeah,
nothing, like it was toilet
mhm,
paper. So Judge for me, he gets an A. Like Hector Cruz said, the best ability is availability
mhm,
when it comes to Harrison Bader. 100% agree with you on that.
yeah.
Let's look up the replacement players that we've had: Billy
What about
McKinney,
Stanton? What do
Jake
you think about
Bowers,
Stanton?
Willie Calhoun. Oh, Stanton. He gets a D. Sorry about I forgot Stanton. That's how bad it's been. I forgot about Stanton, but Stanton gets a D. When it comes to Giancarlo Stanton, we saw him heat up the last series against the Cubs, but he heated up against the Cubs, and then he has off days. So let's see what happens when we come back against Colorado on Fridays. But he heated up against the Cubs. He has a week off. Let's see if Giancarlo Stanton can turn it around. Dating back to last year at the All-Star break. Last year, 1 year, basically 1 year around the same time. From last year to now, Giancarlo Stanton is hitting below 170. I'm going to say that
That's,
again.
yeah,
From
pathetic.
last year's All-Star game, including the postseason, till now, Giancarlo Stanton is hitting below 170. He gets a D for me.
Yeah. For me, I'm sorry, Jigga, if you're listening. Stan gets an F for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is a guy with Judge out. He's supposed to be counted on to be
Mm-hmm.
our main guy. And the stats you just reeled off, 170. I'm sorry. That's an F. This guy is he's supposed to be 250, 260. He's not hitting that many home runs anymore. And the guy can barely run. If he runs out a ball to first base, we're just praying he doesn't pull a hamstring or a calf I mean, this guy can't stay on the field.
When he
Honestly, he's
runs,
not a guy we need on this team. We don't need all these DHs and sorry, it's just to me it's an F. I'm
when
sorry.
when I saw him, when I see him run on the field, he reminds me of Gumby.
Yeah.
You guys remember Gumby, the claymation figure from the 80s and 70s?
Hmm.
That's what Giancarlo Stanton reminds
Gumby
me
and
when he
Pokey.
runs. He reminds me of Gumby and motherfucking Pokey. That's who he reminds me when he's out there running. Just the
I'm
clay
surprised you remember
figure.
that.
Oh, bro,
Wasn't that
come on. Are
before
you
your
kidding
time?
me? No, no, you can't. I had older cousins and stuff. Listen, you grow up in a
Okay.
Puerto Rican household. You got
All right.
one TV, and the only thing that you can watch is PBS because it's free. So
So you're like
I
4 or 5 years old when that was
I
on?
know Gumby and Pokey. I watched the repeats. There you go.
Okay.
I watched the
There we go.
repeats.
There we go.
But let's bring up the replacement players that were brawling. Billy McKinney, Jack Bowers. I keep calling him Jack Bowers, whatever his goddamn name is, Bowers, and
You forgot about
Willie
Volpe.
Willie Big. Oh, I'm sorry, Volpe. Thank you so much, TC.
Yeah.
That's why you're my friend. TC, Volpe. Now let's start with Volpe. When
Yeah.
it comes to when it comes to Volpe, um his defense has been solid.
Hmm.
His arm strength, you could tell that it's a little bit underwhelming. I think moving to second base is definitely going to be in his future. But when it comes to Anthony Volpe, I got to give him a solid C plus. You know, Volpe, solid C plus, borderline B minus. Especially of late. That's why the loss to the Cubs was upsetting because we should have went into the All-Star break celebrating Anthony Volpe putting us ahead with a home run. That's what we should be doing in this All-Star break. But no, we had to go through the Dylan Lawson firing, the Sean Casey hiring, and now we're having a conversation. So for me, Anthony Volpe is B minus, C plus. It's literally right there. But I love what I've seen from the kid, especially
Hmm.
of recently when it comes to his offense. What's your thoughts, TC?
Yeah. I mean, we had to give him time, and
Yeah.
he's starting to come around. And at the beginning of the season, I would have said, yeah, he's C minus. He's had
Hmm.
some tough moments at the plate, but ever since the chicken parm incident, he's got caught fire. They're switching him up and down the lineup. I don't know if he needs to be back to lead off or they'll figure that out. But ever since that little time with Austin Wells, I think he's right around hitting 300 since that time. So for me, that shows promise. I'm giving him a B plus because he's a rookie. He plays a decent short. His arm, yeah, his arm does concern me, but he makes the plays, um, and his base stealing and what he does on he you know gets in the pitcher's head on base, and he just brings energy that we lack on this team. We need that type of energy in the youth, athleticism, and yeah, I'm going B plus with this guy.
And correction is why I love Steve. Gumby made his first appearance in 1955. Fun fact. I was
Wow.
more of as a kid growing up, I was big into Lamb Chop. That was my homie growing up. What? Lamb
Mm,
Chop on PBS? That was my guy. All right, let me stop it. Let me stop
okay.
talking about that. I'm losing myself. But no, Volpe, solid first half from Volpe. You got to give the kid all the credit in the world. I didn't forget anybody this time, right? I didn't forget no one this time.
Let's
No, that's
see.
around the no, that's around.
IK. Oh,
Um,
he's an outfielder now, so
yeah,
I guess.
he's an outfielder. That's why I say for left field, we got to talk about Bowers,
Yeah,
McKinney, Calhoun. When it comes to the
a multiple.
replacement players, the guys that were just added on, minor league guys, you got to give them credit. I give all of them collectively a B minus because they're asked to do stuff that they shouldn't be expected to be middle of the lineup guys. So I got to give them a B minus. They've come
Mhm,
in, they provided us with some sparks, especially Bowers and McKinney.
mhm.
Willie Calhoun, he got off to a rough start, but it was like a
Had his
2 week
moments. Yep.
span that he had his moments. Even when it comes to Frenchie Cordero, when he first came up, he was a bit hot,
Yeah, he
and
was
then
on fire.
he just fizzled out as well. I was at that game against the Phillies with Pete when Frenchie Cordero actually hit a home run. So he fizzled out. But collectively, I'm not going to grade them individually. Collectively, the reserves, they get a B minus or a solid B for me because they're doing more than what is expected of them. They shouldn't be having
Mhm.
to perform in the middle of the
Right.
lineup, and they're doing an okay job. So they get a B minus for me.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. They're reserve utility players. They shouldn't
Yeah.
be called upon to be the heart of your lineup. And yeah, I mean, you nailed it. I'll say B minus, but I'm going to pull one of those guys out, and I'm pulling IKF out of that group, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving him a B plus because the
Okay.
guy is put everywhere on the field.
Yeah.
Bless his heart, he tries his best in left field. I know he's not a left fielder,
Mm-hmm.
but the guy has come through time and time again in clutch situations. He's a contact hitter. He's got some speed. He shows some energy. He gives it 110% all the time, and that's not what you see on this team all
Mm-hmm.
the time. You don't see that. And this guy, he's played all outfield positions, all infield positions. He's come into
Mm-hmm.
pitch. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I gotta tip my cap to him. I'm gonna give him a
Yeah.
B plus. The rest of the guys, yeah, B minus C because they're just average. They're just coming and they've just done what they
Yeah.
need to do just to for the time being. And yeah, there's some good guys. There's been some bright spots, but there's also been some bonehead plays in the outfield. But yeah, we that's another change that hopefully
Mm-hmm.
Cashman makes is getting a left fielder.
Definitely, definitely. Shout out my brother Manny Morales. Manny, hope all is well. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's to the dome. My guy Manny, I hope you're feeling good right now. But yeah,
Mm.
IKF, when it comes to IKF, and this is the thing, Yankee fans was jumping on IKF last year, right?
Hmm.
I've said this many times. IKF didn't trade for IKF, right?
Right.
IKF didn't decide to move him from third base to be the shortstop for the Yankees. No, it was this bonehead that's on the screen right now. But when it
Yeah.
comes to IKF this year, at least IKF, you can see that he actually gives a damn. He actually cares. He
Mhm.
actually goes out there, he hustles, he plays the game hard. When you look at his at bats, he may not have the big home run numbers that pop out to you, but
Yeah.
his at
Exit
bats are
velocity.
always consistent. He strikes out. Yes, he strikes out, but when he puts the ball in play and when it's on ground, he hustles out that
Mhm.
box down the first baseline better than anyone else on this lineup. So when it comes to IKF, I got to be right there with you. I got to give him a B plus because,
Mhm.
like I said, everything that was thrown at IKF last year, the fans jumping down his neck, people going on Twitter telling his father, making
Right.
up fake articles that IKF died and sending it to his father. Everything that he went
That was
through, he
terrible.
was able to turn it around. And this is the season we're getting out of IKF. I got to give him a B
Mhm.
plus, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. And it I only give that to him because he's not our everyday shortstop. If he was our everyday shortstop, yeah, he'd probably get a lower grade. But
Yeah,
he's
we'll get a
playing out of
D.
position. He's
Mm-hmm.
playing every position, and he's just filling in. This is not this is not what he signed up for. I'm sure, and he's a Gold Glove third baseman, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not even putting him there, which they should be putting him there instead of Josh Donaldson. But yeah,
He's he's
he's
played
done his
third.
job. He's done. Yep,
He's played third this year. He's played every position except for first base and catcher,
and catcher. Yeah, and he can catch.
and he can catch
He's our third string catcher. Yeah,
an emergency situation. So
emergency.
when it
Yeah.
comes to IKF, I'll give him a solid B plus. He's doing he's
Hmm.
with everything that transpired last season, right? With the vitriol, the venom he got from the fan base,
Yeah.
and how he was able to turn it around this season. Some guys they can't handle that. Aaron Hicks, he couldn't handle that. Joey Gallo, he couldn't handle that. Josh Donaldson, he can't handle that. But IKF was able to make it, to take the situation from a bad situation to make it into what it is right now. So
Hmm.
shout out to IKF for that. But let's move
Yeah.
over to the starting rotation.
Yes,
You got to
sir.
start off with Garrett Cole. And for me, Garrett Cole, he gets an A.
Yep.
He's our ace. He's made every start of the season. The first 5 or 7 starts, he was fantastic, lights out. He had a
Hmm.
little hiccup in the middle. He's picked it back over the past several starts, and off of a Yankees loss, we are perfect with Garrett Cole the next day. We are 5-0, and Garrett Cole pitches to an ERA that's below 2. So when it comes to Garrett Cole, got to give him an A. He's our ace. Like I said, he's made every start of the season, and he's been solid for us. What's your thoughts, TC?
Yeah, most definitely. He's an A. Yeah, he's proven to be the ace this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's come out like you said. He was red hot. He took a step back there in the middle of the season there. Couple bad starts, but he keeps us in the game, and he bounces back after a Yankee loss, like you said. I mean, this guy, he's a workhorse. He's a availability. That's the best thing about him.
Mm-hmm.
And without Garrett Cole, we're probably about 15 games out.
That's a
Uh,
fact.
yeah,
That's a
and
fact.
he's we need him to be that ace. And now
Mm-hmm.
with Rodon there, hopefully they can feed off each other, and we can see the best of both of them now.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that 1-2 punch. So yeah, A for me.
I know that Rodon's only had 1 start, and it's kind of unfair to give him a grade, but just off of that
Mhm.
1 start alone, I'm giving Rodon a B plus. I really liked what I saw from Rodon through those first 5 innings. That last inning, I don't think he should have went out there for that last
No,
inning. If you
he
want to
was
get
out of
his
gas.
pitches up, his pitch count up, let him go to the bullpen to work on his last few pitches he got to throw. But for me, Rodon, he gets a solid B plus from his first outing. I'm
Yeah,
expecting big things from Rodon in the second half. TC, what about you?
I agree. Yeah, I was. It was it was good to see him out there for one, and to see
Mm-hmm.
his stuff the way first start. I mean, they were swinging and missing. He was throwing 97. I mean, the curveball was filthy. He had
Filthy.
one bad pitch, and 5 solid innings. 5 solid innings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he said, he should have never went out for the 6th inning. But
Yeah.
uh, Boone, I don't get the guy. He does. I don't understand some of the moves. He takes guys out when he shouldn't. He leaves them in when they should. I don't know, but yeah,
Even
it
that
was good.
even that home run, my fault, TC. Even that home run he gave up to Cody Bellinger, it was
Yeah,
a fastball. It was located very well. You just got to give credit to Cody
yeah.
Bellinger
Got a
going
good
down there
swing
and
on it.
getting it.
Yeah.
He got a good
Mhm.
swing on it. He put good wood on the bat, but it was still a very well located fastball that sat at 96 miles per hour. So you got to give
Mhm.
credit to Carlos Rodon. When you look
Yep.
at the rest of the starting rotation,
Oh
Nestor
boy.
Cortez, and this is where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Nestor
There goes the
Cortez,
grades.
the mustache. Love Nestor Cortez. But this year, he hasn't been nasty Nestor. So I got to give him a
No.
D when it comes to Nestor Cortez this year.
Yeah.
And with him coming off in the IL, I don't know what to expect out of Nestor Cortez. Are we going to get last year's Nestor Cortez, or are we going to get what we saw in the this season before he went on the IL? So I got to give Nestor a D, bro. He got lit up against Texas. He's been getting lit up. That cutter is not cutting like it was, and it seems like the magic from Nasty Nestor has fizzled out. So I got to give him a D minus.
Oof. Yeah, that's low. Yeah, I'm with you, but I'm not gonna go that low. I'm gonna say C minus. He's had some good starts. I like we said at the beginning of the year. I don't know if that pitch clock has done something to him, But he needs to figure something out because they're all over the cutter. He doesn't have a strikeout pitch anymore.
No.
They're sitting on it, and right-handed hitters are just demolishing his pitches, and he has no. There's no way he can't get any right-handers out, and he's got to figure it out. And the injury, that definitely lowers his grade. He's just not available anymore. He was hurt at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I think he had a hamstring injury or a groin.
Coming out of spring training.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great season, and we expected good things out of Nestor because he came out of nowhere and had some, the shocking 2021, 2020, or 2022. But yeah, this year it's taken a turn for the worse. So yeah, C- for me.
Yeah. When it's sad to see when it comes to Nestor, bro, because he had amazing the last 2 seasons. The magic of Nestor Cortez, like I said, it's probably looked like it fizzled out. But moving over, when it comes to starting pitchers, we got to talk about Luis Severino, El Sevi. And Luis Severino, I hate to say it, he got a big fat F.
Oh, yeah.
Luis Severino. He started the season on the IL. I can't blame him for starting the season injured. But since he has come back, I don't know what's wrong with Severino. And it's not like he's losing velocity. No, his fastball, especially his last start, was 98, 99 miles per hour. It's just teams are just teeing off on him. It's just batting practice when Luis Severino is out there. And I've said this a bunch of times. He may be tipping his pitches. And I think the Yankees, when it comes to Severino, he needs to just break everything down and just start it back up, build it back up from the ground up. I think his mechanics are off. When you look at comparisons from this year to last year, and I pointed out on the show, his plant leg is planting sooner than it's supposed to. So his mechanics are just out of wax. What's your thoughts on Sevy?
Yeah, you nailed it. It's mechanics. I honestly think it's a lower half leg injury. I think he's hiding something. Because with the mechanics, he's probably favoring something. He's not, he's not releasing the full windup or full step. There's an issue there. Also, on top of the tipping pitches, that could be. The other teams have figured it out. I mean, he's sitting at in the high 90s fastball, but something is wrong. His other pitches are just not. They're not completing the full pit, like the curveball, just not curving the sinker. He just something is wrong there. It needs to be tweaked. If it's an injury, just step aside and go on the IL. Stop trying to hide stuff from the team. It's just hurting himself because I know he's going to be a free agent and I'm sure he wants the big money, and I don't know who's going to pay for him with a year like that. So yeah, he gets a big fat F for me.
He had that start against the Texas Rangers, and we all thought, okay, Sevy is start. He figured it out. He was able to pitch, I think, like 5 or 6 scoreless innings against the Rangers. He struggled a little bit, but we was all saying, okay, maybe Luis Severino figured out. But his next 2 starts were just clunkers, and what was more alarming,
not even in the game, just blowouts.
Just blowouts. His last 2 starts, when it comes to that fastball, he didn't even record not even one swing and miss on a fastball. Not even one on the fastball. And this is over 2 starts.
They know it's coming now. That's what they figured it out.
So Sevy, hopefully from both Severino and Nestor Cortez, hopefully we get something from both of them in the second half, or we need to move them to the bullpen. Like Sandy said, Nestor will probably be a solid reliever in that bullpen. Maybe also when it comes to Luis Severino, we've seen Severino coming out the bullpen. He looked phenomenal also. So maybe we need Luis Severino go in that bullpen and just air it out for an inning or 2, right? I don't think he has it to be a consistent starter over 6 innings anymore. I don't know, bro, when it comes to Luis Severino. But let's move over to 2 guys who's been surprises for us, and that's Domingo Germán and Clark Smith. Let's start off with Domingo Germán first. He had that perfect game of the season. Shout out to Germán. We all know what his past was. And I'll tell you this, a lot of people may not agree with me, but the same way I feel about Jimmy Cordero is the same way I feel about Domingo Germán. If I was on the Yankees front office, if I was in the brass, Domingo Germán would not be a player I would want on my team. That's just me personally. But what we've seen from him on the field, you can't deny what you've seen from him on the field. Like I said, perfect game from Domingo Germán. He's been one of our most reliable starters outside of Garrett Cole. I know that's not saying much, But for me, Herman, like Sean Browning said in the chat, Domingo Herman gets a B. I know a lot of people may not be in favor of that, but Domingo Herman gets a B for me. What about you, TC?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm gonna say B. That perfect game definitely got his grade up
Elevated
because
him.
because he man, and he has games like that. He has games
Yeah.
where he dominates. He throws like almost a couple no hitters, and he keeps us in the game. I think he had maybe one bad outing, one blowout, where we're just smoked, but he keeps us in the game. He's very reliable. I mean, he's been healthy all year pretty much, and he gives you. I mean, if Boone wasn't the manager, he'd probably go 7, 8 innings every day. But Boone likes to pull this guy super early, especially that Cub game. I don't know. We had that game wrapped up. I don't know why 74 pitches. I don't get it. The guy went 99, pitched a no hitter, and you're pulling him out at 74. I
Especially
don't.
when you look at the series coming up with Colorado, he's not going to even pitch in that series.
Right. He's
It's
gonna
going
have
to be
five,
Garrett.
six
Come
days
on,
off. I don't know how many, 7 days off.
a whole week
Yeah,
off.
it didn't make any sense. Boone treats games like exhibition games, like he just wants everybody to get a look or something. I don't get it, but that's beside the point. But yeah, Herman, definite solid B for me.
When you look at Herman's stats and the batting average opponents have off of him, he has the 4th lowest opponent's batting average, not just in the American League, and all of Major League Baseball. He has the 4th lowest opponent batting average. So when they score on Domingo Herman, it's when he has those little blow up innings when the defense is not really behind him, when he gives up that home run. That's when they rock Domingo Herman. But normally, like you said, Domingo Herman, he can give you 6 innings, 1 hit. He could give you 7 innings, 2 hit. We've seen him. He was against Cleveland. He was pitching a no hitter, and they took him out in the 8th inning and brought in the bullpen that lost us the game.
Right.
Lost
He
us the
gave up
game.
One hit took him out.
Come on. Yeah. So Domingo Herman gets a solid B for me. Shout out to Domingo Herman for what he's done this season.
Yeah.
Clark Schmidt, he gets a C. He gets a C plus for me. Clark Schmidt, he started off the season rocky, super rocky. That cutter was disgusting. I'm not saying disgusting in a good way. I mean, he was getting rocked left and right. But he's been able to put together solid outings, going 5 innings, 6 innings. So I got to give it up to Clark Schmidt because, like I said, this is another guy. He wasn't expected to be a starting pitcher for us. He was expected to come out the bullpen. He wasn't expected July 11th for the first half of the season to be our 5th starter or our 4th starter. So got to give credit to Clark Schmidt. He's been solid this year for us, doing more than what was expected for him. So I got to give him a C.
Yeah, I'm with you with the C. I'm going to give him a little bit higher. I'm going to give him a C plus because what I've seen of late has definitely improved his grade in my eyes. He's got to work on his consistency. He's got to stay, he's kind of all over. Sometimes he'll get rocked early, and other days he looks unhittable. So if he could just, work out the consistency, but he's given you innings. I mean, the guy can go more than 4 or 5 innings. I don't know. Another time, Boone just loves to pull this guy
Loves
early.
taking him out, bro.
And I don't. He loves the bullpen. He just that's just the thing with Boone. He just loves to get to that bullpen. But Clark Schmidt, like you said, he wasn't supposed to be counted on this year as a starter. I mean, we had all our five guys locked in, but he's come in and honestly he's kept us afloat. And that's why he gets a C plus to me. He keeps us in games. He looks terrific sometimes, and average the next, but I got to give hats off to Herman and Schmidt for definitely keeping us afloat in this wild card race.
Definitely. Also, we got 33 people that were in the building. I think we topped off at 48 people that were tuning into the live. If you guys can, please smack that like button. It helps us out tremendously with the algorithm, getting more Yankee fans a part of the conversation. Now, this is the last 2 I want to bring up before we have to get out of here, but these are honorable mentions. And I got to bring up Brito and Randy Vasquez. Johnny Brito and Randy Vasquez, both from the minors. Like you could say the same thing we said about Clark Schmidt for those 2. We weren't going into this season expecting these 2 kids to be spot starters for us. when they have been spot starters for us, they've been amazing. Johnny Brito had that one hiccup against the Minnesota Twins in that first inning. But since then, both Johnny Brito and Randy Vasquez both have been phenomenal. I give both of them a B grade. I like Randy Vasquez stuff more than Johnny Brito. Randy Vasquez stuff is just filthy, has a lot of movement. But I got to give both these young kids a B. When they've been called upon, they've been able to answer it. And I think Randy Vasquez, his entire life, he's never been to a major league stadium, and pitching at Yankee Stadium was the first time he was ever in a major league ball club. So, I mean, ball stadium. So you got to give credit to Vasquez. So they're solid B for me, bro. What's your thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, Brito for me with that bad game that lowered it. I'm gonna give Brito a B minus. I'm gonna give Vasquez a B because Vasquez, I mean, just came out of nowhere and just gave us some great games. I mean, I trust him more than I trust Severino. I would skip Severino and have Vasquez in there, and Brito's picked it up as well. He's they're kind of fluctuating between the two, up and down with Scranton and these spot starts, and they've been called upon and they've delivered of late. And yeah, B overall grade, I will say, for both of them, and it's been a pleasant surprise. And I honestly would skip Severino and put one of these guys in there.
I wouldn't be mad if the Yankees did that. I definitely wouldn't be mad if the Yankees did that. But guys, gotta get out of here. It's about that time, 12:35. Enjoyed the conversation with you, my brother TC. Shout out to everyone who was in the chat. My guy Truth always, Jerry Cadell, L.I. Yankee King, Casey Funtime, Sean Browning, Anthony Medina, my guy Anthony Garcia, Hector Cruz, my friend Sandy Molinares from the Dugout Station and from the Pipe. Make sure you guys go follow those guys over there. Robbie Garnes, my guy Robbie is in the building. Also, make sure you guys go to the last episode of The Pipe. In the description is the channel link for Dugout Station. Make sure you go support our friends Julian and Sandy over there. We're trying to bring their subscribers up as well, just like our subscribers is going up. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like we always say, salute, 3 capital S's. Let's see what the Yankees do this second half. We got one more episode of the Yankees Morning Brew before Friday come. Well, two more before their Friday game against Colorado. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time. TC, any last words?
Hector, it's been a pleasure. This was a great show. I mean, thank you as always. The chat, awesome for participating, giving their grades. And don't forget, I know there's a break. Don't forget, September 23rd. This is where it's happening right here at the Audi Club. Get your ticket. There's only 28 maybe left. And after party, Sucker Punch. It's going to be a movie. You can't miss this one. That's why I'm bringing the whole family.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait. Like TC said, make sure you guys get your tickets September 23rd. Like always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you support NYY News TV family and everyone that's out there. And like always, deuces.